Noor Alam was a hitman. He had killed 8 men and tortured many more. He had been imprisoned in every major jail in Bihar, India, but had always been released.
हम बहुत दुनिया में जितना गुनाह है वो सारी हमारे अंदर थी.
It was November 2010. My son Waqar became ill with intense stomach pain. Soon he developed a fever. My wife and I prayed over him and went to the mosque to beg prayer from the imam. Over the next few days, Waqar's condition deteriorated. The fever intensified and he would not take food. I hated to see my son in pain and I became desperate, seeking help wherever I could find it. I went to the Hindu priest and even paid money to a witch doctor. But Waqar was getting worse, so I picked him up in my arms, put him in my car and drove him 20 miles to the Duncan hospital. The doctors admitted him immediately, and I saw from their concerned faces as they examined him that the situation was serious. I waited 3 hours while they ran tests, and then they allowed me to sit by my son's bedside. I looked at my sleeping son, still now, his breathing shallow. He looked pale, like a ghost, like a dead person, but I was not prepared to even consider the possibility of death. Would I lose my son? Was this a punishment from Allah for the murder and torture of others? I had been faithful. Allah had granted me power over these infidels. I could not regret anything. My son would not die. I would not allow it. The doctor came to check on Waqar. He told me that there was little he could do and that he might die. But I said, "You will save my son's life or I will kill you." The doctor remained calm. "I cannot save your son." This man was not afraid of me. He had been threatened with death, but he had no fear. He looked peaceful. I had no control over this man. The doctor looked at me with great compassion. He said, "I can't save your son, but I know someone who can save him, the Lord Jesus Christ. We can pray to Jesus right now if you wish." We sat and prayed. I did not know this Jesus, but as I listened to the doctor pray, I was overcome with emotion. This man prayed as if he knew his God personally, as if he were alive, right there in the room with us. He prayed for Waqar as if he were his own son, as if he knew and loved him. I felt power in this prayer, true power, not the power of a gun, but something much more. After prayer, the doctor said, "We have asked for healing. Now we must have faith that the Lord will permit it." He reached and pulled out a book. "Read this, my brother, and you will understand." I took the book and began reading by my son's bed. I prayed, "Lord Jesus, I have faith that you will heal my boy. If you will do this, I will follow you with all my heart and you will be my God. I beg your forgiveness for the terrible things I have done."
Waqar's recovery was remarkable. He was back home within a week. Noor Alam immersed himself in the New Testament and then began proclaiming Jesus in his village. The Muslims could not believe what had happened, but Noor's testimony was irresistible. His son had been brought back from the brink of death, but even more astounding was that this criminal, this murderer, was now preaching that salvation, forgiveness, and healing were available through Jesus Christ. By mid-2012, he had joined Big Life and is now known as Pastor Noor. Since, he has brought hundreds to Christ and planted many churches in Muslim villages. He is following Christ with all of his heart, just as he promised.